In Douluo, there is more than just Zhu Zhuqing in the arms. Introduction. The book title is also called Douluo. Understanding Against Heaven, Capturing Goddesses starting from Zhu Zhuqing, Douluo. Three-Eyed White Tiger, Capturing Goddesses starting from Zhu Zhuqing, Douluo's Killing Comes, What Are You Afraid of Bibidong, Douluo. Practicing with me can accelerate, goddesses will not leave. 10,000 years later, Su Yunhan travels across the Douluo continent and sees. Chapter 1. Son of Yuhao, Su Yunhan comes to Douluo continent. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. In a not-so-spacious wooden house, there was a 6 or 7-year-old boy lying on the bed. His face was pale and he was in a coma. There are 2 adults by the bed, one chubby and the other tall and sturdy. Lao Shao, how are you? The tall and muscular man asked the chubby man with a worried expression. The chubby man did not answer immediately and continued to check the little boy's physical condition. After a while, the chubby man spoke up and said, after taking my sugar beans, the effect is very good. It's fine now, and I estimate it won't be long before I wake up. It's okay. The tall and muscular man breathed a sigh of relief. The little boy on the bed was saved by him from a small village that was slaughtered by thieves. This little boy is the only one left in the entire village, and everyone else has died. This child's physique is different from ordinary people, otherwise even with my treatment, Sugar Bean wouldn't have recovered so quickly. The chubby man stared at the little boy on the bed and pondered, saying. It's also a great fortune, he survived the entire village, the tall and sturdy man said, not paying too much attention to the other person's words, thinking that the little boy was just lucky. Of course, if it weren't for him bringing the little boy back to Shrek Academy, it would probably be difficult for him to survive. That's right, this is Soto City, Shrek College. The tall and robust man is Zhao Wuji, the immovable king, while the chubby man is Xiao Xian, a sugar bean. During the conversation between Zhao Wuji and Xiao Xian, the little boy on the bed finally woke up. The little boy woke up feeling a slight headache and looked inside with confusion and surprise in his eyes. The unfamiliar wooden house and 2 strangers in front of him made the little boy feel uneasy. Wake up. Zhao Wuji was pleasantly surprised to find the little boy waking up. Xiao Xian looked over and asked, Child, have you woken up? Have you felt any discomfort in your body? Looking at the 2 strangers, the little boy's gaze froze as he realized he had become a child, who should have been an adult. Lao Shao, the situation is not right. Didn't you say there was no problem? Seeing the situation of the little boy, Zhao Wuji turned to Xiao Xian with a questioning expression on his face. It shouldn't be. Xiao Xian was puzzled and leaned over to check the little boy's health again. When Xiao Xian grabbed his hand, the little boy was startled. Child, don't be afraid. I'll show you again. Xiao Xian showed a kind smile to calm the other person's emotions. Although the little boy was surprised, he didn't make any other moves and just looked at Xiao Xian and Zhao Wuji. Strange. It's all right now. After rechecking, Xiao Xian looked at the little boy with confusion. At this moment, the little boy's face was no longer surprised, but in a calm state of contemplation. Is it really okay? Zhao Wuji felt much more at ease when he saw the little boy's face calm down. It should be the unfamiliar environment and people that make the child uneasy, Xiao Xian said as he looked at the little boy. Immediately, he spoke out and comforted the little boy, Child, it was the uncle next to you who saved you. Now you are very safe and don't have to worry anymore. Zhao Wuji also followed suit and comforted, You have survived the entire village. You must live well. From now on, this will be your home, and we will be your family. After Xiao Xian and Zhao Wuji talked for a while, the little boy looked at them and asked, What is this place? At this moment, the little boy has confirmed that he has undergone a strange transformation, from an adult to a child, and it seems that he has not returned to his childhood state. Because Zhao Wuji said he was saved in a village, how could he possibly appear in a village with his identity? Furthermore, although he has not yet seen his face, some features on his body have proven that it is not his childhood body. The most obvious thing is that the birthmark that should have been on the body is gone. So, what the little boy can be certain of is that he has become a little boy, and it is not a rejuvenation, but a new body. This is an incredible thing. In addition, the little boy also suspected that he was not currently in the Sun-Moon continent, or even in the original world. This is Shrek College. Zhao Wuji smiled and said, "Child, what's your name and how old are you?" Shrek College. Is it Shrek College? The little boy was shocked. But in an instant, he concealed himself and regained calmness, then asked, "My name is Su Yunhan, 7 years old. How do you call me?" Faced with words that didn't sound like children, Xiao Xian and Zhao Wuji didn't pay attention. The chubby sugar bean Xiao Xian smiled and said, "I am Xiao Xian, he is Zhao Wuji, and we are all teachers from Shrek College. By the way, your name is Su Yunhan, isn't it? It's a good name. Uncle asked you, have you ever tested awakening a martial soul? If you have a martial soul, you can practice at Shrek Academy." Xiao Xian, Zhao Wuji. Arrived 10,000 years ago. Su Yunhan was shocked that such an incredible thing had happened. Although shocked in the heart, the surface remained calm and pretended not to understand. What martial soul? It seems there isn't. Xiao Xian looked at Zhao Wuji and said with some anticipation, "Wait for him to rest for a few days and try to awaken his martial soul. Maybe there will be a surprise." Zhao Wuji smiled and nodded, "Sure." Su Yunhan doesn't know if his current body still has a martial soul. If there were no martial souls, one could only be immortal, which Su Yunhan could not accept. "I'm fine now, I can give it a try." Su Yunhan was even more anxious than Zhao Wuji and Xiao Xian to know if he had a martial soul, and quickly got out of bed. Zhao Wuji smiled and then looked at Xiao Xian. Xiao Xian looked at Su Yunhan, paused, nodded, and said, "His condition is good, you can give it a try." "Okay." Zhao Wuji looked at Su Yunhan, "Now try to activate the martial soul inside your body, if there are any." Zhao Wuji took out a device from his portable storage soul guide to assist in testing and activating the martial soul, and then reached out and placed it on Su Yunhan. A light appeared on Su Yunhan's body and disappeared after a moment. "Now concentrate and..." Zhao Wuji instructed Su Yunhan to try the martial soul in his headache body and present it in his hand. Su Yunhan is extremely skilled in this regard. At this moment, Su Yunhan's face was already beaming with joy, because when Zhao Wuji activated his martial soul, he had already felt the existence of the martial soul. Suddenly, a white tiger martial soul appeared in front of Su Yunhan. There is a martial soul. Still the white tiger martial soul. Zhao Wuji, Yu reading www.yuyukangshu.net, Xiao Xian, and Su Yunhan were all pleasantly surprised as they looked at the white tiger martial soul in front of them. Xiao Xian was surprised and said, "Surprisingly, a white tiger with wings and flying ability." Zhao Wuji exclaimed in shock, "There's also a third eye. Isn't it a mutated martial soul?" Xiao Xinrua pondered and said, "It should be the mutated white tiger martial soul. I just don't know if it's good or bad. Let's see how many levels of soul power there are." Upon hearing this, Zhao Wuji rode up to check Su Yunhan's soul power level. At this moment, Su Yunhan is comparing the difference between the white tiger martial soul in front of him and the white tiger martial soul he originally possessed. Su Yunhan was originally from the Sun and Moon continent 10,000 years later. He was the son of Yuhao and Orange, and possessed a mutated three-eyed white tiger martial soul. This type of martial soul not only possesses the strong attacking characteristics of the white tiger martial soul, but also possesses strong spiritual power. Now Su Yunhan has arrived at the Douluo continent 10,000 years ago and awakened his martial soul. Compared to the original three-eyed white tiger martial soul, Su Yunhan now possesses a pair of wings and has the ability to fly. In addition, the current three-eyed white flying tiger martial soul has endowed Su Yunhan with strong physical and mental strength, much stronger than the original three-eyed white tiger martial soul. That is to say, Su Yunhan's three-eyed white flying tiger martial soul is much stronger than the original three-eyed white tiger martial soul. It means that in the future, Su Yunhan can be even stronger than before. Tang San, I'm waiting for you in Shrek. Su Yunhan's hatred deepened when he thought of Tang San. Since we have arrived in the Douluo continent thousands of years ago, it is natural for us to seek revenge against Tang San. Meanwhile, Su Yunhan saw the opportunity to become a god. Chapter 2. Tianyou Shrek Academy. Oscar is here. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Level 10, Innate Full Soul Power. Haha. Zhao Wuji laughed heartily. Really, upon hearing this, Xiao Xian was pleasantly surprised and said, "Let me take a look." Huh, innate soul power. Zhao Wuji, you found a treasure. Zhao Wuji smiled for a while and was in a good mood. He placed his hands on Su Yunhan's shoulders and said, "Su Yunhan, congratulations. You not only possess martial soul, but also innate soul power. Your future is limitless." Innate soul power. Su Yunhan, who had come to his senses, was also surprised. You should know that when he awakened his martial soul, he was not born with full soul power. This is a great thing. Compared to the original three-eyed white tiger martial soul, the current three-eyed white flying tiger martial soul is not only more powerful, but also possesses innate soul-filling power. This makes Su Yunhan more confident in facing Tang San's twin martial souls, coupled with knowledge that Douluo continent does not have, such as the method of making soul-guided weapons and the information of foresight. Su Yunhan should try his best to seize everything belonging to Tang San, including opportunities, and make sure that Tang San's life is better than his death. Of course, Su Yunhan is very weak now, and it is impossible to immediately go to Tang San and fight hard, let alone Tang San, who is hiding an old sixth Tang Hao beside him. Even if you kill Tang San, you will still be killed by Tang Hao, but you cannot be impulsive. Besides, Su Yunhan didn't want Tang San to die too easily, otherwise how could he eliminate his hatred towards Tang San in his heart? When Fran comes back, I'll definitely give him a surprise. Yunhan, please rest well. I will teach you how to cultivate in a few days. Lao Shao, let's go and tell Li Yusong and Lu Qibin the good news first, so that they can also be happy. The child who was rescued casually actually possessed a mutated martial soul and innate full soul power, which made Zhao Wuji very proud and prepared to show off to Fran. The two of them left, leaving Su Yunhan alone to rest inside the room. Su Yunhan lay in bed, thinking about what he would do in the future and making early plans. Do you want to leave Shrek College? Su Yunhan has no intention of leaving, at least not for now. On the one hand, he is still a 7-year-old child and it is difficult for him to survive alone outside. On the other hand, although Shrek Academy in his previous life was hostile to him and inseparable from Tang Sanmi. But that will happen 10,000 years later. Now, it is entirely possible for Su Yunhan to turn Shrek College into his own. Taking over Shrek Academy is also a form of revenge against Tang San. Why not do it? In a blink of an eye, more than half a month has passed. During this period, Zhao Wuji, Xiao Xian from Sugar Bean, Li Yusong from Dragon Pattern Stick, and Lu Qibin from Star Luo Chess were all working hard to teach Su Yunhan how to practice. It can be said that Su Yunhan is very doted on. Who made Su Yunhan have innate soul power? It's too rare, I have to cherish it. Su Yunhan, who comes from 10,000 years later, naturally knows much more about cultivation knowledge than he does now. However, Su Yunhan is still putting his heart into learning. No, it should be said that understanding is with heart. After all, understanding the current cultivation level of Douluo continent can help him make better judgments. According to Zhao Wuji and his team's plan, they will need to wait for Su Yunhan to learn and cultivate for a period of time before helping him obtain the first soul ring. For soul masters, only having the first soul ring can be considered a true soul master. After activating the martial soul, a soul ring is required for every 10 levels of soul power. Soul rings come from soul beasts and require hunting to obtain them. Today is already afternoon. There are 2 people outside the entrance of Shrek College, one big and one small. Oscar, this is Shrek Academy, and it will be your home from now on. Fran held Oscar's hand and looked at the large characters on the door sign of Shrek Academy, saying, "Home." Oscar looked at the ordinary entrance of Shrek Academy with a bewildered expression on his face. He is now an orphan with a broken family and was unexpectedly discovered by Fran. What surprised Fran was that Oscar not only possessed a martial soul, but also a food-based martial soul with innate soul power. Food-based martial souls are already rare, and food-based martial souls with innate soul power are even rarer, which can be encountered but not sought after. Fran felt lucky and found a genius among the geniuses for Shrek Academy. He couldn't wait to bring Oscar back to Shrek Academy. "Fran, you're back." Fran and Oscar met Li Yusong, a dragon-patterned stick, as soon as they entered Shrek Academy. What happened? Seeing Li Yusong's excited expression, Fran thought something bad had happened. Li Yusong looked at the child Oscar, but didn't pay much attention. He smiled and said to Fran, "Good thing. It's such a big good thing." Zhao Wuji had a bad luck and found a child with innate soul power. Our Shrek Academy is about to turn around, hee hee. What? Congenital full soul power. Fran was first surprised, then looked at Oscar in his hand. Is there another innate soul power? Really, Fran couldn't believe it. He was fortunate enough to have found a child with innate soul power and food-based martial soul. Unexpectedly, Zhao Wuji also found an innate soul power. Tianyou Shrek College. What am I deceiving you into doing? Li Yusong stroked his beard lightly, still smiling excitedly. Let me take you to see. Zhao Wuji and Lu Qibin are teaching him how to cultivate. Fran was stunned for a moment, then said excitedly, I didn't expect to have another innate soul power. Yu reading www.yuukeongshu.net is really blessed with Shrek Academy. Also, Li Yusong looked at Oscar in disbelief and asked, Fran, don't tell me, this child is also naturally full of soul power. Haha. Fran laughed heartily, it's not just innate soul power, but also a food-based martial soul with innate soul power. Congenital full of soul power, and it's also a food type. Li Yusong was very surprised and looked at Oscar incredulously, his eyes shining, which made Oscar feel a bit scared. Immediately, Li Yusong excitedly stepped forward and grabbed Oscar's hand, checking his bone age, martial soul, and soul power level. With a bone age of 6 years and a soul power level of 10, this is the innate full soul power. Xiao Ao, don't be afraid, release your martial soul. Fran comforted Oscar while speaking. Oscar calmed down for a moment, then slowly released his martial soul. I saw a sausage in his hand, which was Oscar's martial soul. The food category of Wulin is not fixed, and it is diverse. Sugar beans, sausages, bread, mantou, steamed stuffed buns are all possible. However, Oscar's sausage soul looks a bit sleazy. Is it really a food-based martial soul or an innate full soul power? Li Yusong exclaimed excitedly, Fran, you're even luckier than Zhao Wuji. You two belong to the dog family, this luck. Haha. Fran laughed, this is our luck at Shrek Academy. Let's go and see another innate full soul power first. Li Yusong led the way and said, the child brought back by Zhao Wuji is named Su Yunhan. He is 7 years old and had no soul or martial soul activation before. He only discovered it after Zhao Wuji brought it back. Su Yunhan's martial soul is a three-eyed white tiger, a strong attack-type martial soul. Chapter 3. External Soul Bones. This luck. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Oscar. Sausage Uncle. Su Yunhan looked at the child Oscar in front of him. Although Su Yunhan had heard some rumors of an Oscar in the era thousands of years later, he had never seen a real person, let alone a child like Oscar. As one of the Shrek 7 monsters and Tang San's brother, Su Yunhan doesn't have much fondness for Oscar. But if Oscar were to be brought over as his assistant and used to deal with Tang San, Su Yunhan would be happy to do so. Xiao Ao, from now on, I will be your boss. With me covering you, no one dares to bully you. Su Yunhan has been constantly deceiving Oscar these days. Well, boss. Oscar was inexplicably afraid of Su Yunhan, who was over a year older than him, and appeared somewhat submissive in front of him. Frand, Zhao Wuji, and others attach great importance to Su Yunhan and Oscar, and do their best to cultivate them. Su Yunhan is mainly taught by Zhao Wuji, while Oscar is a food-based martial soul, most suitable for Xiao Xian, who is also a food-based martial soul, to teach. In the blink of an eye, months have passed. Within the Soul Beast Forest under the jurisdiction of Sodo City. Zhao Wuji and Li Yusong are walking in this Soul Beast Forest with Su Yunhan and Oscar. This is to obtain the first soul ring for Su Yunhan and Oscar, which requires hunting soul beasts. You two kids, stay close and don't run around, otherwise you'll be eaten by the soul beast. Zhao Wuji walked ahead. Although there are thousands of soul beasts in this Soul Beast Forest, they are only on the periphery. With Zhao Wuji, a soul master at the level of a soul saint, there will be no danger. Soul beasts are a very special existence on the Douluo continent, providing soul rings, soul bones, and other resources for soul masters. According to level classification, soul beasts can be divided into 10-year soul beasts, 100-year soul beasts, 1,000-year soul beasts, 10,000-year soul beasts, 100,000-year soul beasts. The years here refer to the cultivation years of soul beasts, and may not necessarily be equal to their age. A 10-year soul beast refers to a soul beast with a cultivation period of less than 100 years, and after its death, a white 10-year soul ring will appear. A century-old soul beast refers to a soul beast with a cultivation period greater than or equal to 100 years but less than 1,000 years. After death, a yellow century-old soul ring will appear. And so on. The Millennium Soul Ring is purple, the Millennium Soul Ring is black, and the 100,000-year Soul Ring is red. Yunhan and Xiao Ao are both the first soul rings. With their qualifications, it is not a problem to absorb centenary soul rings, but it is best not to exceed 400 years. Li Yusong, walking behind Su Yunhan and Oscar, said. Well, I know. Soul beasts in their early 300 years should also be fine, as long as they don't exceed 400 years, there shouldn't be much problem, Zhao Wuji replied. Although soul masters on Douluo continent have existed for a long time, their knowledge of soul rings, soul bones, soul skills, and so on is still limited. Otherwise, there would be no theory from Yu Xiaojiang. Yu Xiaojiang is still exploring and summarizing, let alone Zhao Wuji and his team's understanding of the situation. According to Zhao Wuji and his team's understanding, the limit of the first soul ring is not more than 400 years, otherwise the chance of death when absorbing soul rings is too high to take risks. They only understand the approximate age range of soul rings absorbed at each stage, and are not precise. Su Yunhan and Oscar both have good martial soul qualities and physical qualifications. Zhao Wuji and his team estimated in advance that soul beasts between 300 and 400 years are the most suitable. The higher the age of the soul ring, the better the soul skill effect it brings, let alone the richer the soul power it contains. So, when absorbing soul rings at each stage, it is best to absorb the maximum limit that one can bear. However, it is often difficult to achieve. On the one hand, the limit that everyone can bear is too difficult to estimate, and on the other hand, the attributes of soul rings need to be compatible with martial souls, so it is not necessarily the case that older soul rings are the most suitable. Therefore, when searching for soul rings, one can only try to choose suitable soul beasts. A few hours passed. The four-winged red Chan, which has been around for over 300 years and has good recovery ability, is suitable for Oscar. That's it. A soul beast was found ahead, and Zhao Wuji felt it was suitable for Oscar. Well, that's good, that's it, Li Yusong agreed. According to the plan of Zhao Wuji and others, Oscar's first soul skill probably needs to develop in the direction of restoring physical strength, soul power, spiritual power, or recovering injuries. So, it is necessary to have soul rings for soul beasts in these aspects, so that after absorbing soul rings, it is more likely to achieve the expected results. Oscar doesn't quite understand and can only follow the arrangements. Having chosen the target, Zhao Wuji appeared and in just a few strokes, the four-winged red Chan was beaten to the brink of death. Oscar, go ahead and kill it to get the soul ring. Zhao Wuji handed Oscar a sharp dagger and told the soul beast the fatal point. Oscar trembled and trembled, having never killed a soul beast, feeling afraid in his heart. Only the person who ultimately kills the soul beast can absorb its soul ring, so Oscar needs to do it himself. What are you afraid of? Hurry up. Zhao Wuji urged. Half a day later, Oscar finally started killing the soul beast four-winged red Chan. You're too timid, you need exercise. Zhao Wuji looked at Su Yunhan and decided to find a soul beast to train his gallbladder later. Su Yunhan's face was calm, and for him, these were all small matters. What he cares about is whether he can meet good soul beasts. He doesn't want his soul ring to handle things casually. This is the soul ring. Oscar stared blankly at the yellow soul ring condensed from the body of the four-winged red Chan soul beast. Xiao Ao, don't be afraid, calm down and absorb soul rings according to the method taught you, Li Yusong reminded. After the appearance of the soul ring, it needs to be absorbed for a certain period of time, otherwise it will collapse. Xiao Ao, with me around, rest assured. Boss Su Yunhan spoke out to calm Oscar's emotions. His words seemed to be even more effective than those of Li Yusong. Oscar slowly calmed down and began to absorb soul rings. Because it was his first time absorbing soul rings and he lacked experience, Oscar was sweating profusely, which made Zhao Wuji and Li Yusong worried. Fortunately, there is no danger. I have a big sausage. Afterwards, Oscar showcased his first soul skill. While reciting spells, use soul skills to create a sausage. I'll give it a try. Zhao Wujizi didn't mind at all, grabbed the sausage and ate it. He is feeling the effect of this sausage. Not bad. It can restore a certain amount of physical strength and also has a certain healing effect. This soul skill is very good. Zhao Wuji said with satisfaction. It seems that the effect is good and has met expectations. Li Yusong smiled and said, next is the soul ring that Yunhan needs. Su Yunhan is a strong attacking martial soul, with a main attack and excellent defense skills. This time, Zhao Wuji and his team are planning to find a soul beast with strong attack power for Su Yunhan, hoping that the first soul skill will be a strong attack type. It's better to be a feline soul beast, which is more in line with Su Yunhan's three-eyed white flying tiger martial soul. The four continued to search. About 20 minutes later, a bony and rugged tiger-like soul beast appeared, appearing somewhat clumsy and fearless in its attack. Seeking death. Zhao Wuji was a bit annoyed, and he had originally planned to train Su Yunhan's gallbladder, so he finally started beating him to the brink of death. Unfortunately, it's almost 600 years old, otherwise it would be quite suitable for Yunhan, sighed Li Yusong. Yu reading www.yuyukangshu.net. Zhao Wuji said nonchalantly, let Yunhan practice his courage. Speaking, he looked at Su Yunhan and said, come here, kill it. Don't be as timid as Oscar. Remember, don't absorb its soul ring, you can't bear it. Su Yunhan looked disdainfully at Zhao Wuji, but still walked over with a dagger. Looking at the dying and skinny tiger soul beast, Su Yunhan felt that he had no problem absorbing soul rings for over 500 years, but he didn't have much regard for the soul beast in front of him. One strike hit the vital point, and soon the soul beast was choked. A yellow soul ring appears. At this point, an accident occurred. The soul ring actually flew directly towards Su Yunhan and took the initiative to establish contact with his martial soul. Surprisingly, Su Yunhan had to passively absorb this soul ring. What's going on? This situation was not only unprecedented for Zhao Wuji and his team, but also for Su Yunhan. I'm fine. Su Yunhan quickly calmed down and said, don't come over. Wait and see. Li Yusong and the others stopped moving and nervously focused on Su Yunhan's situation. Although it is a soul ring that has been around for nearly 600 years, it seems to have no harm to Su Yunhan. And it's still proactive, rushing to let Su Yunhan absorb it. I've never heard of it before, I've never seen it before. Time slowly passed amidst everyone's worries. Su Yunhan absorbed the soul ring, which took much less time than Oscar. At this moment, Su Yunhan was pleasantly surprised, not only because he had obtained a very good soul skill, but also because he unexpectedly obtained an external soul bone. This external soul bone is very compatible with him, as if they were born together. The external soul bone is very special on the back of Su Yunhan's hand. Not triggering, not showing externally. Chapter 4. Special Soul Skills. Ma Hongjun is also here. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I don't know what's going on, the soul ring ran over by itself, and I had to absorb it. Faced with the questions of Zhao Wuji and Li Yusong, Su Yunhan was unable to explain. Generally speaking, it is difficult and even dangerous for soul masters to absorb soul rings. Of course, if the soul beast voluntarily sacrifices to the soul master, there is no danger at all. The situation this time is somewhat similar to the voluntary sacrifice of soul beasts, as there is no danger involved. Although the cause is unknown and may not be explained in the future, it can only be considered as a special case. It seems that this incredible thing happened because of something we have never seen before. Fortunately, Yunhan is fine. Li Yusong said, after going back, talk to Fran and the others and see if they can understand. Zhao Wuji nodded. This matter was too strange to explain, but fortunately Su Yunhan had nothing to do and said, well, that's it. After a pause, he said to Su Yunhan, Yunhan, show us your soul skills. An accident occurred and I am worried that my soul skills may not be as expected. Su Yunhan now possesses an external soul bone called white bone, which is attached to the back of his right hand and possesses the soul bone skill, equivalent to an additional soul skill. And the soul skill brought by his first soul ring is a special passive and constantly effective soul skill, named Charm. There is no need for Su Yunhan to use this soul skill, it has been on since it was obtained and cannot be turned off. Fortunately, this soul skill consumes very little soul power, and can almost be managed by Su Yunhan's naturally restored soul power. So, it doesn't matter if it's always on. However, the effect of this charming soul skill was very impressive, which surprised Su Yunhan. The effect of charming soul technique is to increase the liking and trust of other creatures towards Su Yunhan. If someone has been around Su Yunhan for a long time, their favorability and trust will continue to accumulate and increase. That is to say, the longer we spend time with Su Yunhan, the more we trust him and our liking for him continues to rise. The benefits brought by such an effect are unimaginable, how could it not surprise Su Yunhan? Now Zhao Wuji and his team need to see their soul skills. The soul ring soul technique is very special, and its effects cannot be displayed. Moreover, Su Yunhan does not want to tell others that he wants to use the charm soul technique as his trump card. So, Su Yunhan could only display the soul bone skill of the external soul bone, white bone. Under the gaze of Zhao Wuji, Li Yusong, and Oscar, Su Yunhan lifted his right hand and clenched his fist. Immediately, the fist quickly turned into a bone, becoming a bone fist. However, this white bone fist not only looks very powerful, but also feels a lot of soul power condensed on it. I believe its power is not weak. Zhao Wuji and the others were surprised. Oscar was surprised by such soul skills. What surprised Zhao Wuji and Li Yusong more was the absence of Su Yunhan's soul ring. Generally speaking, when a soul master uses soul skills, the corresponding soul ring will appear. Su Yunhan used his soul skill but no soul ring appeared. There is only one explanation. Soul skills are instantly unleashed. Zhao Wuji and Li Yusong spoke in unison. Oscar looked puzzled as he had not yet learned any knowledge in this area. Su Yunhan looked serious, regardless of whether Zhao Wuji and the others would be suspicious. It's an instant soul skill. Zhao Wuji looked at Su Yunhan in amazement, not expecting this kid's talent to be so good. Instant soul skill is usually only possible for mid to high level soul masters, and it is rare. It is mostly achieved by mastering a certain soul skill to a certain extent and adding some talents. However, those who possess instant soul skills when absorbing soul rings can only be explained by their innate talent. Instant soul technique, this is an amazing thing. Li Yusong explained briefly what instant soul technique is. Instant soul skill, as the name suggests, is the ability to use soul skills in an instant. This can greatly reduce the duration of soul skill effects and bring great benefits and advantages. Think about it, during a battle, it takes time for others to use their soul skills, and you're here in an instant. The world's martial arts are only fast and unbreakable, that's the truth. You always surprise people, that's great. Zhao Wuji was very happy because he had saved Su Yunhan and had already treated him as his disciple. The better Su Yunhan will be in the future, the more face Zhao Wuji will have. Come and attack me with your soul skills, let me see how strong you are. With joy, Zhao Wuji wanted to give it a try. Okay. Su Yunhan didn't mind, waving his white bone fist, or what could be called the white bone tiger fist. The white bone fist formed by the external soul bone, white bone, is terrifying and intense. A punch hit Zhao Wuji, who had not used much soul power, causing him a slight pain, but his face was filled with a satisfied smile. Very good. Although it is only the soul skill of the first soul ring, its power is much stronger than many second soul ring soul skills, much better than expected. Li Yusong looked at it and said, at least it's also a soul ring that's close to 600 years old. I'm afraid not many people can absorb soul rings of this age in the first soul ring. And using bones as a fist greatly increases strength, so the attack power naturally won't be weak, Zhao Wuji smiled and patted Su Yunhan's shoulder. You have good talent, good luck, and are still working hard. You will definitely become a great player in the future. Oscar walked over with a look of envy on his face. If possible, he also wished he were an attacking martial soul. He said to Xiao Xian, boss, congratulations to you. Su Yunhan said to Oscar in a mature manner, Xiao Ao, follow me and no one will bully you in the future. Only I can bully you. Oscar nodded repeatedly. He was an auxiliary soul master and needed strong soul master protection. Su Yunhan was a good partner. Moreover, Su Yunhan has been treating himself well during this period, and Oscar has already recognized this boss in his heart. Su Yunhan's old age, Zhao Wuji and the others have become accustomed to it, and they don't mind it. Let's go back. After you become the great soul master, we can consider sending you to the outskirts of the Soul Beast Forest to experience. Now all you need to do is work hard to cultivate. Find the book garden www.zhaoshuyuan.com. Zhao Wuji and Li Yusong returned with the two of them. When he returned to Shrek College, Frand was not there. He had a shop in Soto City to earn some fees for the college. Tang Do Xiaoxin and Xing Luoqi Lu Qibin were surprised to learn about their situation in the Soul Beast Forest. But it cannot explain the Soul Ring active event that occurred, as it has never been encountered before. Even the knowledgeable Frand didn't understand, but he wrote a letter to Yu Xiaojiang. Although Yu Xiaojiang was curious, he couldn't understand and could only record it as a special case. In the blink of an eye, Su Yunhan had been on the Douluo continent for over a year. "Boss, your cultivation speed is too fast." Oscar felt a bit frustrated and practiced with Su Yunhan every day, but the level difference was getting wider and wider. "Perhaps it's because of my strong spiritual power that it's easier to cultivate." Su Yunhan's spiritual strength is much stronger than that of a soul master in the same grade due to his three-eyed white flying tiger martial soul and time travel. After absorbing the first soul ring, the spiritual power increased several times and became even stronger. Now Su Yunhan's soul power level has reached level 18, while Oscar is only level 14. "Yunhan, Xiao Ao, look, the dean has brought you another companion." At this moment, Zhao Wuji and Frand arrived, along with a little boy with red hair. "Come on, you guys get to know each other." Frand smiled and said, "His name is Ma Hongjun. He's 6 years old and younger than you all." "Su Yunhan, Oscar, we need to take care of Ma Hongjun more in the future. I have found another genius, although not born with full soul power, his talent is also very good, and he is also a very good mutated martial soul, which is worth Frand's happiness." Chapter 5. One Poor Two White. Dai Mubai. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ma Hongjun, you're the fire phoenix. How do I feel more like a grass chicken? Hee hee. Fire phoenix, it's fire phoenix. The dean always says it's fire phoenix. It will be incredibly powerful in the future. The dean lied to you. No way. The dean won't deceive me. Ma Hongjun and Oscar, who have been here for some time, have become familiar with Su Yunhan. After getting acquainted, Ma Hongjun likes to show off his fire phoenix martial soul, which looks like a turkey. But Oscar roast, so they quarreled. Ma Hongjun's martial soul belongs to the mutated martial soul. There is a turkey martial soul in his village, and his mutated martial soul has some phoenix-like characteristics, but it is not very similar. A turkey martial soul that resembles a fire phoenix is clearly not completely mutated and may have side effects. However, it is obvious that the quality of Ma Hongjun's martial soul has improved significantly after the mutation, his fire attribute has been greatly enhanced and his power has also been greatly enhanced. Everyone shut up and practice well. Su Yunhan stared at the two people who were arguing, and they immediately shut up. Oscar recognized Su Yunhan as the boss, so he was obedient. Ma Hongjun was a bit afraid of Su Yunhan, the new boss, and dared not disobey. Having gained some knowledge of cultivation, Ma Hongjun knew that Su Yunhan and Oscar were both innate geniuses with full soul power. However, Ma Hongjun believes that he is not inferior to Oscar because Oscar only assists martial souls and does not know how to fight. Su Yunhan is different. He not only has exceptional talent, but also has a strong attacking martial soul with powerful force, which makes Ma Hongjun awe and admire him. With two younger brothers practicing, life is peaceful, not to mention that Shrek Academy only has a few people. Having fewer people also has its benefits, which is more conducive to calming down and practicing. Time just passed by little by little. It's been almost 4 years. Su Yunhan finished his morning practice and looked up at the horizon, feeling a sigh in his heart. Time flies so fast. This year, Su Yunhan is already 11 years old, Oscar is 10 years old, and Ma Hongjun is 9 years old. Their age difference is not significant, but their soul power levels have already widened the distance. Su Yunhan's current soul power level is level 28, Oscar level 22, and Ma Hongjun level 18. 3 people went to the cafeteria together. Although the 3 of them are 9 to 11 years old, they are already over 1.5 meters tall. Ma Hongjun is over 1.5 meters tall, Oscar is 1.6 meters tall, and Su Yunhan is over 1.7 meters tall. When they arrived at the canteen, Zhao Wuji, Xiao Xian, Li Yusong, and Lu Qibin were already here. Fran often doesn't work at Shrek College, but runs a store in Soto City to earn money. Xiao Xian is a fat man, his martial soul is sugar beans, his food is martial soul, and he is already a soul saint. At Shrek Academy, the soul power level is only below Fran and Zhao Wuji, ranking 3rd. The daily meals at Shrek College are mostly cooked by Xiao Xian, so he can be considered a cook. Because Shrek College is very poor, the food is not abundant. However, we still tried our best to satisfy the nutrition of Su Yunhan and the others. Yunhan, Xiao Ao, Hongjun, tomorrow is the day when the college recruits students. You also come to stand guard and help. During dinner, Zhao Wuji spoke up. Su Yunhan nodded silently. Teacher Zhao, we recruit students every year, but there hasn't been a single one in recent years. I'm still looking forward to new students coming, Oscar said with a smile. Ma Hongjun said, can't we find students as outstanding as us? Sigh, it's just that we're too outstanding. Damn it. Li Yusong gave Ma Hongjun a headache with his dragon stick. However, it's hard to meet an excellent student like you. Ma Hongjun chuckled and said, we are geniuses among geniuses, how can others compare us? Oscar continued, we always can't find new students, why don't we lower the admission requirements? Shrek College has high admission requirements, only looking for geniuses among geniuses, geniuses among geniuses. Sigh. Xiao Xian and the 4 of them sighed at the same time. It's not that Shrek College is unwilling to lower some standards, it's just not possible. Because of poverty. There is no money, no resources to cultivate ordinary talents. Only geniuses among geniuses, strange talents among geniuses, can be found to cultivate through their innate talents in resource-scarce situations. Oscar and Ma Hongjun still don't understand, but Su Yunhan understands very well, but he doesn't care. He just uses Shrek Academy and has no intention of contributing anything to it. Speaking of which, aside from the reasons behind Tang San, the existence of Shrek Academy alone is a formidable enemy of Su Yunhan's empire in the era thousands of years later. The second day. Although the admission requirements of Shrek College are outrageous, it still has some reputation, and people come to try it every year. This year is no exception, as some people have arrived. 3 testing points were designed. Outside the college gate, Li Yusong is responsible for testing the bone age and martial soul condition of applicants first. Then Lu Qibin was responsible for testing the soul power level of applicants on the college square. The last test, led by Zhao Wuji, is a practical test. The bone age must not exceed 12 years old, the soul power level must not be lower than 20 levels, and must be a great soul master with 2 soul rings. The 2 soul rings must be yellow soul rings from the 100th grade. With such conditions, qualified individuals are already geniuses, and going to any advanced soul master academy will receive key training. But that's it, and it's not harsh to pass Zhao Wuji's practical testing. It is also because of this that it is difficult to receive new students. Bone age over 12 years old, unqualified. Since it's not up to standard, should we refund the money? It was agreed beforehand that after registering for the test at Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com, there will be no refund at all, and it's the same every year. Similar situations occur every year. The test fee for enrollment and registration at Shrek College is not low. How could the college expect to receive a refund with such a higher income? Fortunately, the teachers at Shrek College are not weak, and at the very least, there is also the presence of the Soul Emperor. We have not yet encountered stronger applicants from their families. On the first day, As always, no qualified students were found, so it was a waste of time. There are still 2 days left. There was no suitable one on the first day, and the next 2 days became even more uncertain. But we still have to continue, there are 3 days for enrollment. The next day, in the afternoon. Outside the courtyard, Li Yusong is at the testing point. Name, age, what kind of martial soul, show me the soul ring. Dai Mubai, 12 years old, with a martial soul evil wood and white tiger. The tall man in front of Li Yusong was Dai Mubai, who had escaped from the Star Luo Empire and came to Soto City for a period of time. I came to Shrek College to find a place to settle down, and at the same time, I needed some protection. Evil-eyed white tiger. Li Yusong looked deeply at Dai Mubai and suspected that he was the legitimate lineage of the Dai family in the Star Luo Empire. However, he didn't pay much attention and carefully checked the opponent's bone age. The bone age is appropriate, reveal the soul ring. Dai Mubai is almost 13 years old, but it happens to be within the enrollment age range. Dai Mubai has 2 yellow soul rings on his body. Okay. You go in and test your soul power level. Li Yusong nodded in satisfaction, estimating that Dai Mubai would become the only qualified new student in recent years. Chapter 6 is quite shocking. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Su Yunhan, Oscar, and Ma Hongjun are chatting with Lu Qibin. There is no one here to test, and they have lost hope. It is estimated that there will be no new students who meet the conditions this year. Someone's here. Ma Hongjun, who looked at the courtyard door, noticed Dai Mubai walking in. Oscar looked over at the sound and said, "Hey, it's finally opened. I guess we can pass this level, but Mr. Zhao Wuji can't say for sure about that level." Su Yunhan also took a look. He had never seen Dai Mubai, so naturally he didn't know him. Even though Shrek Academy will have statues of the Shrek 7 monsters 10,000 years later, it has changed a lot. Dai Mubai looked at Lu Qibin and the 4 of them and said, "Is it here for testing?" Lu Qibin looked at Dai Mubai and said, "Place your hand on the soul power test crystal ball, and then release your soul power." Dai Mubai is no stranger to this testing tool. Level 27 soul power. Lu Qibin, Oscar, and Ma Hongjun were surprised. It exceeded their expectations. I had originally thought that having a 20.2 or 3 would be good, but I didn't expect it to exceed so much. Oscar and Ma Hongjun did not reach level 27 when I was 12 years old, but there was one in front of me, indicating that their talent was similar to theirs, which is surprising. What's your name? Su Yunhan had some guesses in his heart. Dai Mubai glanced at Su Yunhan, who was about the same height as himself, and then said, "Dai Mubai." Sure enough. Su Yunhan understood clearly. Oscar asked, "Dai Mubai. Are you really not over 12 years old?" Ma Hongjun also suspected, "Isn't it the relative of teacher Li Yusong?" Pop. Lu Qibin gave Ma Hongjun a chance, but he couldn't help but say, "Dare to question your teacher. It's not impressive." Dai Mubai saw that the 3 young people were all students of Shrek College and they were going to be together for a long time, so he put down his airs and said, "Although they are not over 12 years old, they will be 13 in just over a month. Fortunately, they have caught up with Shrek College's enrollment. It's almost 13 years old." Oscar balanced his mind a bit, estimating that by the age of Dai Mubai, he could surpass the opponent's soul power level. Ma Hongjun felt that he could also say, "You're just a little worse than us. And don't be too happy too early. There's still 1 level left. Only by passing it can you become a student at Shrek College. Is there another level left? The conditions at Shrek College are indeed harsh." Dai Mubai thought so in his heart, but he had confidence in himself. "Dai Mubai, you have passed this level," Lu Qibin said, and then said to Su Yunhan, "Yunhan, take Dai Mubai to teacher Zhao's place." Su Yunhan nodded and said to Dai Mubai, "Let's go, I'll take you to the final level." I'll go take a look too. And me too. Oscar and Ma Hongjun both followed to watch the excitement. On the way, Dai Mubai asked, "What is the final level test?" Oscar chuckled and said, "It's not easy to pass the practical test." Ma Hongjun frightened on the side and said, "Teacher Zhao Wuji is a soul saint in his 70s. If you're afraid, it's best to give up now. Shrek Academy actually has a soul saint. And at least two." Previously, Dai Mubai had heard that Flender, the dean of Shrek College, was a soul saint powerhouse. Unexpectedly, there was also Zhao Wuji, who was unsure of the level of the two teachers tested earlier. You should know that although there are many advanced Soul Master academies in Douluo continent, there are not many who have the level of Soul Saint. Moreover, Shrek College is still a privately run advanced Soul Master college without state funding, which makes it even more challenging. Dai Mubai felt that he had come to Shrek College right. As for the upcoming test of Soul Saint Zhao Wuji, he is not too worried. Oscar asked Dai Mubai, "By the way, what is your martial soul? If it's an auxiliary type, it's probably easier to pass." Dai Mubai said, "My martial soul is the evil-eyed white tiger, a strong attack type martial soul." Surprisingly, it's a strong attack type martial soul, or a tiger type. It's a coincidence. Oscar glanced at Su Yunhan and said, "Our boss's martial soul is a three-eyed white flying tiger, which is also a strong attack type, but you must not be as strong as our boss." Three-eyed white flying tiger. Dai Mubai has never heard of it, probably some mutated martial soul. If one claims to be weaker than the other, Dai Mubai would not agree in his heart. Seeing Dai Mubai's somewhat disapproving expression, Ma Hongjun smiled and said, "Our boss has just turned 11 years old, and his soul power level is already 28. He is also born with full soul power. Are you not convinced?" Dai Mubai stopped in shock and looked incredulously at Su Yunhan, who had always remained calm and quiet. Demons. Surprisingly, he is only 11 years old and still has innate full soul power. His soul power level has reached level 28, surpassing himself. It's so shocking. Dai Mubai couldn't believe it. Su Yunhan calmly looked at Dai Mubai and said, "It's nothing. There are heaven and earth, and there are people outside of us. There is never a shortage of geniuses in this world, and there must be people who are better than me." Nima. Dai Mubai was speechless, thinking that there were probably not many who could surpass Su Yunhan. Oscar said, "Dai Mubai, our boss can't be compared to either you or me. You can't compare either. Listen up. I am a food-type martial soul with innate soul power that is rare in 1,000 years. In the future, it is destined to surpass the Seven Treasures Glass sect and become the strongest auxiliary soul master in the Douluo continent. Another innate soul power, still a rare food type." Dai Mubai was once again surprised. Zhaozhuiyuan.com. He glanced at Ma Hongjun and thought to himself, can't these three people all have innate soul power? Su saw the meaning in Dai Mubai's gaze, and Ma Hongjun felt a bit guilty and stubbornly said, "Cough. Although I'm not born with full soul power, it's also about the same. Besides, my martial soul is an unparalleled fire phoenix, much stronger than your evil-eyed white tiger." To avoid embarrassment, Ma Hongjun did not release his turkey martial soul. Oscar dismantled the stage and said, "Hee, Ma Hongjun, just your grassy chicken martial soul, don't embarrass yourself. It's a fiery phoenix." Ma Hongjun was angry. Turns out it's not innate soul power. Dai Mubai inexplicably breathed a sigh of relief. However, despite this, the presence of these three genius demons at Shrek Academy is enough to shock Dai Mubai. "You two shut up, it's already here." Su Yunhan stopped the quarrel between Oscar and Ma Hongjun. Zhao Wuji was leisurely drinking tea in the small courtyard when he noticed Dai Mubai and showed surprise. "Finally, there's one. Come here, what's your name?" Released the martial soul and soul ring to see Oscar introduced Dai Mubai. "Dai Mubai, this is teacher Zhao Wuji. Just follow his instructions." Su Yunhan approached Zhao Wuji and said, "Teacher, his name is Dai Mubai. He has a martial soul with evil eyes and a white tiger, and his soul power is at level 27. Oh. Evil-eyed white tiger, surname Dai, is it?" Zhao Wuji thought of Dai Mubai's background, but did not reveal it. Dai Mubai has already released his powerful martial soul, the evil-eyed white tiger. When the martial soul is attached to him, 2 yellow soul rings appear on his body. Evil-eyed white tiger, very good martial soul. After seeing Dai Mubai's martial soul, Zhao Wuji became even more certain of his background. Chapter 7. Zhan Dai Mubai was beaten badly. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Yunhan, you can be Dai Mubai's opponent. Zhao Wuji changed his mind and said to Su Yunhan, "Don't lose." Then he said to Dai Mubai, as long as you defeat Su Yunhan or persist for a stick of incense, you will pass the level. In fact, Zhao Wuji had already recognized Dai Mubai in his heart. Doing so was not only to see Dai Mubai's strength, but also to use Dai Mubai to train Su Yunhan. Okay. Su Yunhan nodded. Dai Mubai looked at Su Yunhan with some eagerness to try. Their 2 soul power levels differ by 1 level, not much, and they are both strong attacking tiger-type martial souls. Dai Mubai is confident that he may not necessarily lose. There's a lot of fun to watch. Ma Hongjun had already run to Zhao Wuji and sat down. Oscar has also passed. Dai Mubai is definitely not a match for the boss. It's probably difficult to stick to a stick of incense. Teacher Zhao, if Dai Mubai loses, will he really not accept it? Zhao Wuji smiled but did not answer. Looking at Su Yunhan and Dai Mubai, he took out an incense stick and lit it, inserting it on the ground. "Alright, let's start," he said. Su Yunhan did not procrastinate and immediately released the 3 eyes white flying tiger martial soul. Dai Mubai stared straight at him, feeling very similar to his evil-eyed white tiger. It was just an extra pair of wings and 1 eye, like a mutated evil-eyed white tiger. It's really strange. On the other hand, the 200 grade yellow soul rings that appeared on Su Yunhan were plain, and he was also 2 yellow soul rings. However, Dai Mubai was unaware that both of Su Yunhan's soul rings had exceeded his lifespan. Su Yunhan's first soul ring has a lifespan of nearly 600 years, and his second soul ring has a lifespan of nearly 1,000 years, both absorbing soul rings beyond his level. What's even more peculiar is that both soul rings were actively absorbed by Su Yunhan, without any danger. Frand and his team have been thinking about this and can only attribute it to Su Yunhan's unique mutated martial soul, which has a special attraction to soul rings and can make them embrace and embrace. Su Yunhan can only think so for the time being. Anyway, this is a good thing. The next time he absorbs a soul ring, Su Yunhan is prepared to be even bolder. He can try a soul ring that has been around for nearly 10,000 years, or even absorb a soul ring that has been around for 10,000 years, to see if the soul ring will still be embraced. Su Yunhan's 2 soul rings have exceeded the lifespan of Dai Mubai, so using soul skills can activate more soul power in the soul rings, and the effect will inevitably be better. Dai Mubai also released the martial soul evil-eye white tiger, displaying 2 yellow soul rings. The martial soul is possessed, the soul ring disappears, and it appears to have returned to its original state, but as a soul master, one can feel the soul power emanating from their bodies at this moment. I'm going to take action now. Dai Mubai wants to take the lead. Come on. Su Yunhan remained calm and composed. I saw Dai Mubai stepping on the ground and then rushing towards Su Yunhan. He did not use soul skills, but chose to use soul power to attack and try Su Yunhan's depth. Su Yunhan stood still without using his soul skills. Faced with incoming punches, fight back with punches. Touch. Su Yunhan did not take a step back, and Dai Mubai was recoiled a few steps, with a painful fist. The defense is much stronger than mine. Surprisingly. Come again. Dai Mubai continues to attack. But the results are all the same, and we have to admit the gap in defense and strength. You don't need soul skills, you can't beat me. And don't expect to procrastinate like this. Su Yunhan said calmly. This made Dai Mubai unhappy. Does he need such a means to delay time? Okay, let me show you my soul skills. The first soul skill, the White Tiger Protection Barrier. Dai Mubai used his soul technique, and a soul ring appeared on his body and quickly disappeared. A layer of protective white light appeared on him. This is a defensive soul skill that enhances defensive strength. However, it also has an effect of increasing strength. Therefore, Dai Mubai swung his fist at Su Yunhan again. Su Yunhan still stood still and punched in response. As a result, Su Yunhan remained motionless, and Dai Mubai was recoiled and retreated. However, the distance of retreat this time was much smaller, thanks to the strength and defense brought by the White Tiger Barrier. But in terms of strength, Dai Mubai still lags far behind Su Yunhan. How could it be? Dai Mubai was surprised, and only then did he realize that Su Yunhan was really much stronger than him, not a match. However, he was unwilling to admit defeat. Dai Mubai quickly retreated and distanced himself, with a serious expression. Second soul skill, White Tiger Flame Light Wave. This is an attack soul skill. A beam of light shot out from Dai Mubai's mouth and directly hit Su Yunhan. The attack soul skill of the second soul ring is not weak. Su Yunhan did not forcefully connect and chose to dodge directly. This straight beam of light is not difficult to avoid. Seeing Su Yunhan dodging, Dai Mubai felt an opportunity to take advantage and kept turning around, turning his head, and attacking with a beam of light. Su Yunhan's evasion speed became faster and faster, and the explosive speed surprised Dai Mubai. Not long after, Su Yunhan had already arrived by Dai Mubai's side, and his attack speed couldn't keep up. Take a punch. Hitting someone in the face, Dai Mubai was punched by Su Yunhan and flew out. What a powerful force. Dai Mubai flew several meters away. TSK, it hurts to watch. Oscar said. Ma Hongjun nodded repeatedly, deeply understanding. During regular practice, Ma Hongjun and Oscar always get beaten up. Of course, Ma Hongjun was beaten the most. It's just Oscar's fault for being too cunning. Martial soul, soul ring, soul skill, talent, and Yunhan are all superior to Dai Mubai, and it is impossible to lose. Zhao Wuji watched with great interest and said, it depends on how long Dai Mubai can persist. Oscar said, as long as the boss is serious, Dai Mubai will lose long ago. That's it. Ma Hongjun strongly agrees. However, Su Yunhan knew that Zhao Wuji had already recognized Dai Mubai and that winning or losing was not important. So, don't mind playing with Dai Mubai and charging some interest. Who made Dai Mubai Tang San's brother, let alone Dai Mubai, the ancestor of Yuhao? It's only natural to tidy up. Come on, continue, don't hesitate. Su Yunhan said to Dai Mubai with a disdainful and provocative tone. Damn it. Dai Mubai hates losing, he has already lost too much in the Star Luo Empire. He looked at the 1.3 burned incense and felt that at least he needed to make it through. White Tiger Flame Light Wave. Dai Mubai attacked again and gave it his all. However, it still couldn't keep up with Su Yunhan's evasive speed. No accident, Dai Mubai's face was beaten again. Get up again, continue to attack, and then continue to be beaten. This is a one-sided battle. Boss, this is intentionally playing with him, right? Oscar felt that his boss was becoming more and more terrifying. You have to be careful in the future. Find Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com. Ma Hongjun felt a sense of concern. Zhao Wuji thinks it's nothing, it's good to let Dai Mubai suffer a bit. As for Su Yunhan, he will handle it himself. When practicing with Zhao Wuji, Su Yunhan was also beaten up. However, sometimes Zhao Wuji's carelessness can lead to capsizing in the sewer. In this way, Dai Mubai was beaten by a stick of incense and persisted. He should be grateful to Su Yunhan for not taking it seriously. Although he was beaten, Dai Mubai had no resentment toward Su Yunhan in his heart. Not as skilled as humans, being beaten is normal. Of course, there is naturally the effect of Su Yunhan's first soul skill, charm, which gradually increases Dai Mubai's liking and trust. In the future, if we get along for a long time, we can ensure that each person is a boss and even help count the money after being sold. Okay, a stick of incense has arrived. Zhao Wuji stood up and said, Dai Mubai, you have passed all the tests and are now a student at Shrek College. Then he said to Oscar, Xiao Ao, get some sausages for Dai Mubai to recover. Good Oscar walked happily over to Dai Mubai and recited a spell, I have a big sausage. Dai Mubai, who had a blue nose and swollen face, couldn't eat Oscar-made sausages when he saw this scene. Zhao Wuji said solemnly, the sausage made by Xiao Ao's first soul skill can restore energy and treat injuries. In the future, you all need to get used to eating it. There's no way, Dai Mubai can only endure eating a few, not to mention, the taste is pretty good. After eating, the physical strength began to recover and the injury began to improve. I also have detoxification sausages. If you get poisoned in the future, you can come to me. Oscar smiled and blinked at Dai Mubai. His second soul skill is to make detoxification sausages, and the effect is also good. Chapter 8. Encountering Zhu Zhuqing by chance. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The Dai family of the Star Luo Empire. Don't be afraid. Since you have come to Shrek Academy, as long as you don't betray, you are all our students, treated equally. After returning to Shrek Academy to learn about Dai Mubai's situation, Fran didn't pay much attention to his identity. Don't forget, this is the Heavenly Dou Empire, and the Dai family dare not be reckless here. Alright, being able to recruit a genius is a good thing. There are already 4 talented students now, and our Shrek Academy may have to leave a lasting impression on them. There are 2 countries in Douluo continent, the Tianyou Empire in the north and the Xingluo Empire in the south. The 2 countries are hostile and occasionally experience friction. However, there is a powerful third-party force in Douluo continent, which is the Martial Soul Hall. In recent years, the overall strength of the Martial Soul Palace has ranked first, surpassing the Heavenly Dou Empire and the Star Luo Empire. The reason why Dai Mubai came to the Heavenly Dou Empire was to avoid danger and take advantage of the hostility between the Heavenly Dou Empire and the Star Luo Empire. Indeed, it's a good thing, said Li Yusong. However, the college is already struggling, and if there are more students, it may be difficult to persevere. Lu Qibin suggested, how about stopping enrollment before the 4 of them graduate? There's no way, Shrek College is too poor. No way, Fran shook his head. We insist on enrolling students every year, not only for the sake of new students, but also as a means of promotion. If we cancel it, no one will know about Shrek College after a long time. I'll come up with a solution to the money issue, you don't have to worry. Moreover, it is not easy to recruit qualified new students. Zhao Wuji looked at the crowd and smiled, saying, Fran, actually that little guy Dai Mubai told me that if the college needs it, he can support some money. Dai Mubai was prepared to escape and brought a lot of money. Fran smiled bitterly and asked for new student funding, but he had no face and said, you can still support me now, don't worry, I'm here. As they spoke, Dai Mubai was colluding with Ma Hongjun. Ma Hongjun, I'll take you to Soto City to find a beautiful girl. I'll pay for it. I have been at Shrek Academy for over half a month now, and Dai Mubai has learned a lot about the side effects of Ma Hongjun's martial soul mutation. People in the Douluo continent world have already matured quickly, and at the age of 11 or 12, they are already adults. Although Ma Hongjun may seem smaller, due to the side effects of the mutated martial soul, his firepower is now strong and he needs to vent his anger at intervals. So far, they have been hooking up with girls in villages near Shrek College, but even if they succeed, they will soon run away because of fear. It made Ma Hongjun feel depressed. Now Dai Mubai is in favor of him. To be honest, Ma Hongjun is tempted and says, "Is this not good? Hee, what's so embarrassing? Let's go." Dai Mubai hugged Ma Hongjun and headed outside the college. As long as you greet the college, it is still allowed to leave occasionally. They are all soul masters now, there is no safety issue. Su Yunhan and Oscar were unaware, and even if they knew, Su Yunhan wouldn't go, but Oscar was different. Oscar now has a beard and a strong demand. Su Yunhan was the emperor of the Sun and Moon Empire in his past life. With so many women, he is now very calm and focused on cultivation. Women will only affect Su Yunhan seeking revenge on Tang San and his speed of becoming a god. Of course, if he were to snatch Tang San's woman or Shrek's 7 monsters woman, Su Yunhan would be very willing to do so. Sure enough. A few months later, Oscar was fooled away by Dai Mubai and Ma Hongjun. In the future, the three of them colluded and occasionally went to Soto City to seek pleasure. Frand only warned them to exercise restraint and was not stopped, thinking it was normal. The society in Douluo continent is still similar to feudal existence, with many slave trades openly and secretly. It is normal for ordinary people to have 3 wives and 4 concubines, not to mention many soul masters who enjoy desires. Time passed unnoticed like this. Su Yunhan has been on the Douluo continent for over 6 years. Now Su Yunhan is over 13 years old, Dai Mubai is over 15 years old, Oscar is over 12 years old, and Ma Hongjun is over 11 years old. On the level of soul power, Dai Mubai is at level 38, Oscar is at level 31, and Ma Hongjun is at level 29. Su Yunhan is at level 42. Perhaps it was the existence of Su Yunhan, whose hard work in cultivation stimulated Dai Mubai and the others, making them practice faster than in the original work. Nowadays, Su Yunhan is not only the boss in the eyes of the Oscar trio, but also a monster. Su Yunhan is not only talented as a demon, but also quick in cultivation and hard-working. What's even more shocking is that he can absorb soul rings beyond his level, and every time the soul rings are actively absorbed by Su Yunhan. Now Su Yunhan has 4 soul rings. Yellow, purple, and black. The first soul ring has a lifespan of nearly 600 years. The second soul ring has a lifespan of nearly 1,000 years. The age of the third soul ring is close to 10,000. The fourth soul ring has a lifespan of nearly 20,000. Let people envy and envy. Originally, Su Yunhan attempted to absorb the Eternal Soul Ring during the third soul ring, but found that the Eternal Soul Ring would not be embraced for him to absorb. Therefore, he had to give up and dared not take the initiative to absorb it beyond his level. The absorption of the third soul ring for nearly 10,000 years is already the limit, while the limit of the fourth soul ring is nearly 20,000 years. Even so, it was quite incredible, and Fran and the others were shocked. Today, Su Yunhan, Dai Mubai, Ma Hongjun, and Oscar arrived at Soto City together. Dai Mubai and the others are here to find the girl. Su Yunhan is looking for materials to make soul guides and preparing to make some soul guides. Not letting the 3 of them follow, they searched alone in the city. "Girl, where are you from?" Looking at the dough. "We are students from Barak College, the great soul master. How about coming with us to play? You are also a soul master, and we can allow you to enter Barak Academy and find the book garden www.zhaozhuyuan.com at a slight cost." On the street, several students from Barak College surrounded a girl. The students at Barak College have always been domineering, and those around them have long been hiding far away, afraid of harming the fish in the pond. The girls own black tight leather pants, the decoration of cat's ears, steamed cat ear-shaped bread, and cat tails, and the proud and straight figure make her very eager to look at them. No wonder some people are interested in them. But that girl is not easy to deal with either. She is a soul master. I didn't speak to a few students from Barak Academy, but I just opened my martial soul and fought. Her martial soul is a ghost spirit cat. The martial soul possessed the body, and then a yellow soul ring appeared, directly using soul skills. Drive directly without any delay. The fight caught several Barak College students off guard and left them in a state of embarrassment. Run after finishing the fight. Mad, dare to take direct action. Don't let her run away, chase after her. Several students from Barak Academy got up and released their martial souls, using soul power and soul skills to pursue them. Su Yunhan, who was not far away, happened to see this scene. This outfit is still a ghost spirit cat, can't it be Zhu Zhuqing from Shrek's 7 Monsters? Su Yunhan doesn't know when Zhu Zhuqing joined Shrek College, but he has seen the statue of Zhu Zhuqing and still remembers his cat's ears, steamed cat ear-shaped bread, and tail, as well as his tall and proud figure. Moreover, he has seen the ghost cat martial soul before. All kinds of signs indicate that the girl just now was Zhu Zhuqing. Su Yunhan smiled ill-intently and then followed silently. If heroes can save beauty, it seems like a good start. Even if they can't, they can still take the opportunity to see each other. What do you mean? Such a woman still makes Su Yunhan tempted. We can't afford to give Dai Mubai a discount. Chapter 9. The Cheating Cat. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Damn it, she ran away. Keep looking, call more people, as long as she's in the city, you can't find her if you don't believe it. After catching her, make sure she regrets it. Several students from Barak College have lost Zhu Zhuqing. At this moment, Zhu Zhuqing is taking shelter in a narrow alley. She knew she should have escaped the pursuit. Zhu Zhuqing is very experienced in escaping. I have experienced life and death several times, and I am not afraid of these hooligans. Just as Zhu Zhuqing was carefully confirming the situation around him, a sudden voice appeared in the nearby air. Don't worry, those bastards have already been thrown away by you. Zhu Zhuqing suddenly became wary and looked over to find a birdman. Okay, it's Su Yunhan with a pair of tiger wings. Feeling the powerful soul power fluctuations on Su Yunhan's body, Zhu Zhuqing became even more vigilant, ready to release his martial soul and use his soul skills at any time. Don't be so nervous, I just happened to see what happened between you two before. If you're curious, come and take a look. Su Yunhan fell down, put away his tiger wings, and met Zhu Zhuqing face to face. Zhu Zhuqing stared fixedly at Su Yunhan, not saying a word, cherishing words like gold. Obviously, it is impossible for her to immediately trust and favor Su Yunhan. Even if Su Yunhan has the charm soul skill blessing, it still takes time to gradually accumulate and increase trust and favor. Su Yunhan didn't pay attention to Zhu Zhuqing's indifference, which was normal in this situation. He continued, I didn't have any malice, I just happened to meet you. I was a bit curious about you, especially your martial soul, which made my martial soul react. Zhu Zhuqing didn't believe a word and felt that Su Yunhan was also interested in her. If it weren't for the deliberate fact that the other party's strength far exceeds ours, they shouldn't have taken action lightly, otherwise they would have taken action long ago. I know you don't believe it. Su Yunhan smiled and said, I saw your martial soul before. It's a spirit cat, right? My martial soul is a tiger, all of which are feline. Speaking, Su Yunhan released the white flying tiger with 3 eyes of his martial soul. Zhu Zhuqing was suddenly startled. Firstly, her martial soul, the ghost cat, had a reaction. Secondly, she felt that Su Yunhan's martial soul was similar to that of the evil-eyed white tiger, with only wings and 1 eye added. Mutated evilwood white tiger. People from the Dai family. At this moment, Zhu Zhuqing somewhat believed Su Yunhan's claim that seeing his martial soul was his martial soul, and even suspected that the other party was from the Dai family. Driven by curiosity, Zhu Zhuqing finally spoke up, with a clear and beautiful voice that could be described as having a curvaceous figure and a cute voice. "What's your name?" Su Yunhan didn't expect Zhu Zhuqing to ask such a question when he first spoke. He smiled and said, "Su Yunhan, 13 years old, is a student at Shrek College." "Miss, how do you call yourself?" "Not surnamed Dai. Or is it intentional concealment?" Zhu Zhuqing was skeptical, and after some thought, he still told the other party his name. "Zhu Zhuqing." "Zhu Zhuqing, a good name." Su Yunhan admired the other person with great interest. Zhu Zhuqing inexplicably felt a little shy and nervous, quickly turned around and left. After walking a distance, she was surprised to find that Su Yunhan did not stop her. Su Yunhan said from behind, "Zhu Zhuqing, I believe we will meet again if we have the chance." "Humph." Zhu Zhuqing snorted coldly in her heart and left the alley. "I heard that both Dai Mubai and Zhu Zhuqing escaped from the Star Luo Empire at the time. It seems true. Zhu Zhuqing should have come to find Dai Mubai. I wonder if she has met Dai Mubai." Su Yunhan muttered to himself, "I think I met and then joined Shrek College. Hee, Dai Mubai is so promiscuous, and I don't know how many women have played with him." Zhu Zhuqing actually followed Dai Mubai in the end, which shows how easy Zhu Zhuqing is to deceive. Dai Mubai was able to deceive Zhu Zhuqing, but Su Yunhan had more confidence. Even if it cannot be obtained, it must be destroyed, and Dai Mubai cannot be cheap. It is also a help to eliminate Tang San's future. Although Zhu Zhuqing made Su Yunhan feel a bit tempted, he didn't lose his lust or intelligence. Since Zhu Zhuqing is likely to enter Shrek College, there is no rush. Su Yunhan continued to search for his soul guide materials, not worried that the students at Barak College would stump Zhu Zhuqing. That evening, according to the agreement, Su Yunhan, Dai Mubai, Ma Hongjun, and Oscar were all staying at the Rose Hotel. Good guy, Dai Mubai brought 2 girls back for the night. Oscar and Ma Hongjun both have only one, and their looks are slightly worse. There's no way, who makes Dai Mubai rich? They still rely on Dai Mubai to pay the bill. I don't know if the boss has returned, should we go and see? Don't disturb the boss's cultivation, he's not interested in women. That's right. 3 people walked through the hall holding their respective women, chatting and laughing. I didn't notice Zhu Zhuqing in the distant corner. Zhu Zhuqing chose to stay at the Rose Hotel and also had the idea of avoiding trouble. Even students from Barak College dare not act recklessly here. I just didn't expect to meet Dai Mubai here, and it's just such a scene. Men are really not good things. Zhu Zhuqing felt a little sad and cursed Dai Mubai in her heart, with even greater resentment towards him. Not long after Zhu Zhuqing awakened the ghost cat, her family had arranged a marriage contract with Dai Mubai. All nightmares began from then on. Dai Mubai's family is the royal family of the Star Luo Empire, and he is one of the princes. The Star Luo Empire was originally established through martial arts, and the royal family was the largest soul master force. Throughout history, royal struggles have been brutal, not to mention in the Starry Empire. Once the battle fails, one will either be surrounded by the discarded martial soul for life or die. Dai Mubai struggled but was afraid of death, so he escaped from the Star Luo Empire. Zhu Zhuqing, as his fiancée Ae, was unlucky to follow. Even worse, her half-sister Zhu Zhuyun was the fiancée Ae of Dai Mubai's older brother. The struggle for the throne is life and death, one can imagine how cruel it can be. Dai Mubai ran away, and Zhu Zhuqing was even more miserable. It can be said that she was chased all the way out of the Star Luo Empire. I haven't seen Dai Mubai for several years, and I already have a lot of resentment in my heart. Now that I have seen him, I see Dai Mubai embracing him here, indulging in extravagance and drinking. This made Zhu Zhuqing very disappointed, sad, and resentful. Of course, it is not impossible to salvage it, otherwise Zhu Zhuqing would not have been with Dai Mubai in the original work. It can be seen that there are multiple impacts of social norms. In the Douluo continent where 3 wives and 4 concubines are allowed, coupled with the royal family, it is normal for the Zhu family to handle such matters. So, Zhu Zhuqing's hatred can be resolved by seeking help from Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com, as long as they can be coaxed. Although the cute little cat Zhu Zhuqing is easy to deceive, she is indeed sad now. Lonely and sorrowful in the corner, making people look even more heartbroken. Unconsciously, more than half an hour had passed, and Dai Mubai and the others had already returned to their room happily. Ha! It's you, Zhu Zhuqing. Suddenly, a figure appeared in front of Zhu Zhuqing. Zhu Zhuqing looked up and saw that it was actually Su Yunhan. She suspected that the other party was constantly following her. But Su Yunhan said, "What a coincidence, do you also live here? Or are you following me?" Zhu Zhuqing glared angrily at Su Yunhan, unwilling to speak. Su Yunhan looked carefully and said, "You're crying. You've been bullied. Do you want me to help you?" Zhu Zhuqing looked at Su Yunhan, still silent and full of anger. He really wanted to beat him up, but couldn't beat him. Seeing Zhu Zhuqing not speaking, Su Yunhan smiled and sat down next to him. Zhu Zhuqing glanced at Su Yunhan, but there was no intention of driving anyone or leaving. The two of them sat silently like this. The atmosphere is a bit strange. Su Yunhan was thinking that Dai Mubai and his companions were staying at the Rose Hotel, and it was probably because Zhu Zhuqing saw Dai Mubai playing with women, which made him sad. At this moment, Su Yunhan felt it was necessary to prevent the kitten from getting stuck in the mud. Taking advantage of the opportunity seems like a good time to enter. Coaxing women, Su thinks he's no worse than Dai Mubai. Moreover, as long as she sits next to Zhu Zhuqing and relies on her charm, soul skill effect, it can also make her gradually increase her liking for Su. Dai Mubai, go enjoy your colorful world, and I, Su Yunhan, will take care of the kitten. Chapter 10. Deep Exchange with Zhu Zhuqing. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A few minutes or perhaps an hour passed, and Zhu Zhuqing couldn't distinguish clearly. He only remembered that Su Yunhan, who had been sitting next to her for the second time, seemed to have been sitting for a long time, but remained silent. Zhu Zhuqing doesn't talk much, but it doesn't mean she likes to be silent with others, it always makes her feel uncomfortable. However, there are also benefits, allowing Zhu Zhuqing to quickly calm her mood. Zhu Zhuqing looked up and saw Su Yunhan looking behind him again. He couldn't help but say, "What's there to see?" Su Yunhan answered directly. "I was wondering, are you a cat tail and cat's ears, steamed cat-ear-shaped bread, real or fake?" Zhu Zhuqing was shocked. He rarely heard others ask such a question, didn't they all think it was cute? Is authenticity the key? Bored. She gave Su Yunhan a white eye. Su Yunhan's gaze shifted to Zhu Zhuqing's face and deliberately asked, "Zhu Zhuqing, where are you from and what are you doing here?" Zhu Zhuqing didn't want to answer and avoided the other person's gaze. "We did meet twice in a day, and we did have a chance," Su Yunhan continued. "Who knows if you've been following me all the way?" Zhu Zhuqing was very skeptical and said, "Whoever is destined for you is shameless." He. Su Yunhan's face was thick, and he smiled as he said, "It's fate to meet from afar, that's what we're talking about. By the way, if you don't have a place to go, you can't come to Shrek College talking about Shrek College again." Zhu Zhuqing has been in Soto City for over 10 days and has heard of this name, both good and bad. Perhaps he no longer disliked Su Yunhan so much and took the initiative to ask, "Shrek College?" Su Yunhan nodded and said, "That's right, Shrek Academy. Although this academy is very primitive and simple, it is also a place where tigers and dragons are hidden. There are 5 teachers, 3 of whom are soul saints, and the rest are soul emperors. There are currently 4 students, although the other 3 are not as outstanding as me. They should be on par with your talents. You don't know me, how do you know how talented I am? Shameless boasting. Zhu Zhuqing roast in his heart. However, he was somewhat surprised by the strength of the 5 teachers at Shrek Academy. It's interesting that 3 soul saints and 2 soul emperors have set up a soul master academy in the countryside that is not recognized by the Barak kingdom. Soul saint, soul emperor, whether it is the royal family, sect, or the advanced soul master academy of the empire, are all of great status. As long as you join, the treatment will be absolutely generous. It's unimaginable for these 5 people to run Shrek College in a remote and impoverished area. Su Yunhan said deeply, everyone has their own way of living, it's not strange. Perhaps in the future, when I become a god, I will go to the mountains to farm. Becoming a god. Zhu Zhuqing was momentarily lost in consciousness. She heard that Douluo continent had not had a soul master become a god for a long time. The goal was so elusive, but Su Yunhan immediately approached, making Zhu Zhuqing feel unreliable and ambitious. However, she could see some seriousness in Su Yunhan's eyes. This person may really be aiming to become a god, it's serious. Becoming a god. Zhu Zhuqing never thought that her goal was to become a soul saint, a soul-watching Douluo, and a dream title Douluo. Zhu Zhuqing asked again, you should be older than me. What is your soul power level? Although I know that Su Yunhan is stronger than me, I feel that the other person should be a few years older than me, which is normal. Excellent men attract women, and Su Yunhan is willing to show off. I shouldn't look old, right? I'm only 13 years old now, and my soul power level has barely reached 42. Zhu Zhuqing widened her eyes, so surprised that she couldn't believe it and seriously doubted it. Faced with Zhu Zhuqing's questioning gaze, Su Yunhan smiled calmly and nodded until it was too late. He stood up and said, it's already late, so it won't delay your rest. If you don't believe it, you can come to Shrek College. Zhu Zhuqing was speechless, so he didn't say anything halfway. She felt embarrassed to ask further and watched as Su Yunhan left. After sitting for a while, Zhu Zhuqing also went back to the room he had booked to rest. However, she couldn't fall asleep for a long time. She thought of Dai Mubai, who was hugging her left and right, Su Yunhan, and also considered whether to go to Shrek College, as there was currently no place to go. Dai Mubai is unreliable, perhaps Shrek College is a good choice. After much thought, Zhu Zhuqing decided to inquire about the specific situation of Shrek College tomorrow and not just listen to Su Yunhan's one-sided words. I don't know when I fell asleep and had a dream. After waking up at dawn, Zhu Zhuqing was a bit puzzled because she had dreamt of Su Yunhan last night. She had seen a ghost. Fortunately, there was just a slight ambiguity in the dream. When leaving the Rose Hotel, I did not encounter Su Yunhan or Dai Mubai. Zhu Zhuqing inquired about the situation of Shrek College for a long time and unexpectedly received unreliable news. The dean of Shrek College is opening a shop in Soto City. It's really amazing that the dean of the college, also known as the Soul Saint, actually opened a shop to do business himself. Is this poor or too fond of wealth? For Soul Saint, obtaining wealth is very easy, there is no need to open your own store. Zhu Zhuqing felt that the rumors might be false, but she was curious and went to Fran's shop with half a doubt. The store was located in a somewhat remote area, but it was not too difficult to find. After some effort, Zhu Zhuqing managed to find it. She just didn't expect to see Su Yunhan again here. Why is he everywhere? Zhu Zhuqing didn't suspect Su Yunhan of tracking her this time. Yu reading www.yuukeungshu.net because this was a decision she made on a whim. Inside the store, Su Yunhan is bragging with Fran. Su Yunhan is here to see if there are any materials for making soul guides, not to mention some, and 2 of them are quite precious. After some deception, Fran sold it to Su Yunhan at a cheap price. Both of them feel that they have made a profit. It is impossible for Fran to give for free, even if Su Yunhan is a demon genius at Shrek Academy. Su Yunhan's money is partly because he can receive some subsidies every month at the Martial Soul Hall, but after becoming a soul sect, he cannot receive them. On the other hand, he often receives some filial piety from Dai Mubai, so that during regular practice, Su Yunhan can take it lightly. Oh. Zhuqing, we've met again. We're really destined. Su Yunhan didn't expect Zhu Zhuqing to come here either. If it were someone else, perhaps they would suspect that Zhu Zhuqing was following. You are everywhere, Zhu Zhuqing said in silence. Fran was curious and said, Yunhan, do you know a friend who has a good eye? Su Yunhan didn't answer and changed the topic, saying, Dean, her name is Zhu Zhuqing. She's not yet 13 years old and is already a great soul master with great talent. I'm inviting her to join Shrek Academy. Another genius. Fran's eyes lit up. Even though Shrek Academy was poor, he wouldn't let go of any genius. Genius. Shrek Academy admits geniuses, demons. We welcome geniuses and demons to join Shrek Academy at any time. After speaking, he looked at Su Yunhan, who was a living sign. Su Yunhan is the most demonic genius of Shrek Academy. At 13 years old, he is already the soul sect, unprecedented.